Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the Republic of the Philippines, His Excellency Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. We may now be seated. Good afternoon and welcome to the DOTr's 125th founding anniversary and ceremonial signing of the civil works contracts for the Davao Public Transport Modernization Project. To formally begin our program, may we call on Special Assistant to the President, Antonio Ernesto Lagdameo, to deliver his welcome remarks.
His Excellency Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr., Vice President Sara Duterte, Secretary Amina Pangandaman, members of the Secretary Jimmy Bautista, members of the House of Representatives, colleagues in government, distinguished guests, good afternoon. It is with great pleasure that we gather here today to commemorate the 125th founding anniversary of the Department of Transportation. Not only are we celebrating this important milestone, but we are also marking a turning point that will significantly contribute to our nation's transportation infrastructure development. This occasion allows us to reflect on the DOTr's unwavering commitment and compliance to the President's directive to the advancement and progress in the field of transportation through infrastructure development. Without question, Metro Davao's rapid development has necessitated the intervention of the Transportation Department in addressing the daily traffic, inefficient public transport, air pollution, and road safety issues and inadequate transport facilities. Today's awarding of the Davao Public Transport Modernization Program civil works packages, which will be witnessed by President Marcos, is not only a testament to this administration's policy of inclusivity, but also a material contribution in addressing the aforesaid problem areas. This also represents a crucial step forward in our collective mission to ensure efficient, safe, and sustainable transportation across the country. We extend our deepest appreciation to all those who have played a pivotal role in reaching this juncture, as well as to our dedicated partners and stakeholders. Let us continue working together towards a brighter, more connected future for all Filipinos. Maraming salamat at mabuhay tayong lahat.
Thank you, Sap Lagdameo. Let us direct our attention on screen for a short audio-visual presentation and take a stroll down memory lane as we trail through the DOTr's history track, its vision, mission, and purpose.
The Department of Transportation and the country's transport systems continue to evolve over the decades since it was established in 1899. Over the past 125 years, the Department of Transportation continues to serve as the government's primary transport policy, planning, coordinating, and implementing agency in the promotion, development, and regulation of dependable and coordinated transport networks. Under President Ferdinand Marcos Jr., the DOTr has been relentless in improving the country's public transport system. Transformation of the country's transport system is in full swing.
My order to the Department of Transportation, or DOTr, is really very simple. Full speed ahead.
Full speed ahead. In his first State of the Nation address, President Marcos directed the Department of Transportation, full speed ahead. In compliance, the department set the goal of elevating the country's transport systems to global standards. As one of the lead agencies implementing the Build Better More infrastructure development program of the Marcos administration, the Department of Transportation and its attached agencies is fast-tracking the completion of projects in the aviation, maritime, railways, and road sectors. In the aviation sector, the DOTr launched the rehabilitation and modernization of various airports, starting with a public-private partnership of the operations and maintenance of the Ninoy Aquino International Airport, improvements at Clark International Airport, ongoing land development works for the construction of the new Manila International Airport in Bulacan, and PPP of the operations and maintenance of the Laguindingan Airport and Bohol Panglao International Airport, construction of greenfield airport projects such as the Bukidnon Airport, New Dumaguete Airport, New Zamboanga Airport, General Santos, Virac, Puerto Princesa, Ormoc, Calbayog, Cataraman, Butuan, Camiguin, Tacloban, Davao International Airport, and several more airports for development. Meanwhile, major leaps have been achieved in the railway sector. Construction is in full swing for the North-South Commuter Railway, LRT-1 Cavite Extension, MRT-7, and the Metro Manila Subway. Upcoming rail projects for implementation soon include MRT-4, South Long Haul Railway, Mindanao Railway Phase 1, Subic-Clark Railway, among others. Embedded in the massive railway system development is the development and improvement of competencies of human resources through the Philippine Railways Institute. Under the road sector, the DOTr is continuously implementing the Public Utility Vehicle Modernization Program to reform and improve the public transport operations in the country, complemented by the Service Contracting Program and the Fuel Subsidy Program. The DOTr is also promoting the use of active transportation through the establishment of bike infrastructures nationwide. Aside from this, the sector will also build the EDSA Greenways project to conveniently connect MRT-3 to other modes of road transport using elevated and eco-friendly walkways along selected segments of EDSA. The agency's road sector is also improving land transport in Metro Manila's R3 with the EDSA busway, in Cebu City with the Cebu Bus Rapid Transit, and in Davao City with the Davao Public Transportation Modernization Project. DOTr's maritime sector, composed of the Philippine Coast Guard, Maritime Industry Authority, Philippine Ports Authority, and the Cebu Port Authority, have been relentless in upgrading numerous seaports and ensuring the coastal cities and communities are competitive for trade, investment, and tourism. These transport infrastructure initiatives created an overarching spectrum of opportunities for the country's economic development by addressing transport bottlenecks and gaps. The Department of Transportation has been consistent with its trust and long-term outlook by investing in mobility and connectivity across the archipelago. Secretary Jaime J. Bautista remains laser-focused on the goal: provide comfortable, accessible, safe, sustainable, and affordable travel experience for all.
To give us an overview of the game-changing Davao Public Transport Modernization Project and how this project will transform the travel experience of our kababayans in Mindanao, let us all watch this.
Spread across the coastal plains close to Mount Apo lies Davao City. It is the largest city in the Philippines by land area, with its population of almost 2 million people expected to double by 2050. Every day, around 800,000 people navigate the city on an eclectic mix of public transport modes. The most iconic is the jeepney, which forms the cornerstone of Davao's transport network. There are currently more than 6,000 jeepneys operating in the city. These keep the population moving, but also contribute heavily to congestion and pollution.
Para sa dili siya sayon kay na may uban good na dugay mo abot ang jeep. Kanang usay dili nakakalingkod gud. Ako diha lingkuranan. Dili kay naay some awan pasahero na mo take advantage sa mo ha. Maano na lang ka kay sig lahi ang intention sa imo ha good. Wala mo pug kay choice mo na. Sige na mo jud kag sakay og jeep anan kay mao naman jud na.
The Davao City government partnered with the Department of Transportation to modernize the city's transport system with support from the ADB. The project will standardize operations and field around 1,000 buses with reliable schedules, supplying designated bus routes and lanes. Bus stops, depots, and terminals will be better located.
Batan-aw nako kung address nato ang congestion problem diri sa ato ang syudad, mas mahimo siyang livable o kanang mas makatabang pud siya sa economy. Kay bawo man ta nga dakong loss ang gobyerno but also the people pag-abot sa traffic congestion particularly.
The political will for change has been matched by financial support for the project.
ADB was able to raise more than $1 billion for this project because the project aims to make the city more livable. In terms of CO2 emission, this project is estimated to reduce 140,000 CO2 ton equivalent per year.
A social development program ensures no one is left behind. Training and financial packages are available to the 24,000 people whose livelihoods are dependent on the current transportation network.
Mas grabe na yun ang traffic karon kay itong nagsugod ko. Madagan man lang ni siya og almost 30 minutes. Karon mo abot na man gyud siya og 1 hour sobra. Dili mo yun na nga magpermanente na lang tayo nani kay. So kung mahitabo na pohon, wala gyud tay mahimo. Dawat-dawat na lang gyud ta. Ako sir kung naapa ko palad nga makatrabaho aning sa HPBS, gusto po na ako nga driver lang gyapon pareha sa ako ang trabaho karon.
The modernization of Davao City's public transport network will set the standard for creating a reliable, safe, and comfortable road user experience. At the same time, the project ensures that the people who have kept the city running for so long are an integral part of the change.
At this point, we shall now proceed with the ceremonial signing of the civil works contracts for the Davao Public Transport Modernization Project. To sign the contracts on the part of the Department of Transportation, may we request Secretary Jaime J. Bautista to please proceed downstage. To sign on the part of the winning contractor for packages 01, 02, and 03 is Mr. Cao Wei, Philippine General Manager and Authorized Representative of China International Water and Electric Corporation. And to sign on the part of the winning contractor for package 04, may we call on Mr. Shen Jia-chen, Philippine General Manager of China Wuyi Company Limited and Authorized Representative of the Joint Venture of China Wuyi Company Limited, Fujian Construction Engineering Group Company Limited, and Vicente T. Lau Construction. May we request the President and the rest of the party to please stand up and witness the ceremonial signing. Thank you and congratulations to the Department of Transportation and our winning contractors. Thank you, Mr. President. You may now be seated. At this point, may we call on once again Transportation Secretary Jaime J. Bautista to give us his message.
Your Excellency, President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr., ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. We are most grateful to our President for joining us here at Davao City for this historic milestone that will ultimately transform the public transport landscape of this metropolis, spilling over to nearby cities and towns. Mr. President, we have signed today the contracts for the implementation of 4 contract packages of the Davao Public Transport Modernization Project. We have purposely aligned today's signing ceremony as main highlight of the 125th anniversary of the Department of Transportation. Earlier this week, we conducted town hall meetings here in Davao, as well as in Laguindingan and General Santos City, to understand first-hand concerns of various stakeholders and offer appropriate solutions. This will enable us to calibrate our programs and customize these to their areas. We broke ground for the expansion of Laguindingan Airport while presenting to stakeholders the plans for the Mindanao Railway Project Phase 3, as well as other Northern Mindanao transport projects. We shared with them other programs we have lined up for Mindanao. We met with leaders of the business community and local government executives to listen to sector-specific transport concerns. DOTr agency heads and their representatives joined us in these interactions so we can personally listen and provide immediate action. And now we are here to mark another major milestone, the final push before actual implementation of the Davao Public Transport Modernization Project. This road project runs parallel, separate yet complementary to the PUB modernization program that has been embraced by numerous PUB drivers and operators throughout the country. Once completed, the Davao Transport Modernization will serve as benchmark for other urban road projects that aim to radically transform public transport. The project will cost approximately 73 billion pesos, will eclipse the successful EDSA busway and create a 672-kilometer network of efficient PUB operations across Metro Davao and adjacent communities. We are talking of 386 electric buses, 531 regular, and 188 minibuses running on dedicated lanes while upgrading the operations of modern jeepneys, taxis, multi-cabs, even tricycles that are compliant to national standard and the PUB modernization program. The network will have a core service lane connecting major centers, 9 feeder routes, 8 routes connecting inner urban areas, and links between outer rural areas and terminals. On top of these 3 terminals and 5 depots, the plan includes putting up more than 1,000 bus stops. The objective of the undertaking is comfortable and convenient commuter travel, while car owners shift to highly efficient public transport. Byproducts of the whole endeavor are environment protection through reduction in air pollution, increased economic activity through efficient transport of goods and people, enhanced socio-economic benefits to families of stakeholders, and more. We want to thank the Asian Development Bank for assisting the national government and the Davao local government in funding this project. We begin today the metamorphosis of public transport in the whole of Mindanao, starting here in Davao City. With the collaboration of various local government units and the private sector, we trust this formula will enable us to achieve our mission under the inspiration and guidance of our Chief Executive. We intend to go full speed ahead, Mr. President. Maraming salamat po at mabuhay ang bagong Pilipinas.
Thank you, Secretary Bautista. At this juncture, may we call on the Vice President of the Republic of the Philippines and concurrent Education Secretary, Honorable Sara Z. Duterte, to introduce our keynote speaker.
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the Republic of the Philippines, His Excellency Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.
Maraming salamat sa ating Pangalawang Pangulo at kalihim ng Department of Education, Sara Duterte, for your kind introduction. Oh, please take your seat. The lead agency in this very forward-looking and progressive project, our Transportation Secretary, Secretary Jimmy Bautista, and quietly sitting here on the end is, playing a very important role, is Secretary of the Department of Budget and Management, Secretary Mina Panandama. Meron kang fans club dito, ah. The members of the cabinet who are here today, we have come because we have made several stops. The first of which was the Apo Agua, the big water purification project that we just inaugurated, and that is another very important development for Davao and the city in particular and Davao in general. And the reason we brought we asked the cabinet secretaries to join us is because this exemplifies the approach that we have taken to the challenges that we face and the initiatives that we would like to pursue, in that we are using what we refer to as a whole-of-government approach. Because even a project that is very specific to the DOTr, nonetheless requires support from many of the other agencies of government. And it is only this way that we are able to maximize the effect that people will feel when it comes to the ground level. Of course, very much as a partner also of that are our private sector partners, because we now have put front and center, together with the government, the private sector, as being a necessary part of the development of the Philippines in the different sectors that we are hoping to improve. My fellow workers in government, all the distinguished guests here today, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Today, we launch a project that will not only move people and hardworking people around with ease, but to transport their progressive city to a modern future with certainty. The words that describe this project, safe, reliable, and efficient, are in fact the same traits all Filipinos aspire to see in the communities that they live in. This project is more than bringing people and their products to their destinations safe and sound. It should be rightly viewed as a major vehicle that will bring us to a better tomorrow. This is more than just a ceremonial signing for the civil works of contracts for the Davao Public Transport Modernization Project, or the DPTMP. It is a strong reaffirmation of our commitment to develop the Davao region. It is a demonstration of our resolve to deliver what people in all regions deserve: a mass transportation system that can move commuters and commerce efficiently. There is no better place than this city to renew the pledge that there's no better time than today, the 125th anniversary of the founding of the Department of Transportation. The DOTr has a proud heritage, being gifted with the DNA to stand at the forefront of development, to surge forward to frontiers of innovation. In 1899, the first DOTr secretary, Maximo Paterno, rode a train to the inauguration of the first Philippine Republic in Malolos, Bulacan, on the same carriages that ferried our heroes to their places of honor. Those trains were the official carriers of the revolution. The railways we're building today are inspired by the same vision that they held, that a mass transport system is essential to propelling our nation to progress. For the past 1.25 century, the DOTr has built a network which has linked our islands, has eased mobility, democratized travel, fostered prosperity, and connected our people with stronger ties. In an archipelago of 7,000 plus islands and many diverse cultures, the DOTr supplied the adhesive towards national unity. The DPTMP is envisioned in the same mold of breaking barriers, enhancing accessibility, and boosting productivity. The DPTMP will field 400 articulated battery electric buses and more than 500 diesel buses with 29 interconnected routes around the locality. So once completed, this is certainly, as they call it, a game changer. This project will become the template for public transport systems in other cities in our country. As a mass transport system, this people mover will provide faster, more comfortable commutes, whilst decongesting streets filled with private vehicles and improve road traffic. As an affordable and clean mode of transport, it will neither burn a hole in the pockets of our people, nor a bigger one in our ozone layer. As a catalyst for lifestyle change, it shows by example that there are feasible alternatives to commuting by private vehicles, that these can be left behind at home without having to be late for work, for school, or for whatever you need to do around and about the places that you live. This is not a project of the DOTr alone. Its success does not entirely hinge on only the agency's own capacity. In whatever era, great undertakings like these are never solo performances. To succeed, it requires the support of the local government, the informed consent of the people, and the backing of parties who will help us bankroll this dream. As to the first, I would like to express my deepest appreciation to our local leaders for fully backing this project. Dagang salamat. As a matter of fact, this project was first envisioned in the time when it was under the auspices of Mayor Sara Duterte. As to the second, let me assure you that we treat people as joint venture partner, actively soliciting as much of their opinion and their views as possible to accommodate their sentiments into this and every other project. Our call for equitability and inclusivity covers those who will be temporarily inconvenienced by the project. On that note, we assure you that we will attend to the needs of those who will be affected during its construction. As to the third, I would like to express our gratitude to the people of the Asian Development Bank for believing in investing in our vision. Maraming salamat po. And I must point out that this is not the only large-scale project that we are undertaking together with the assistance from the ADB and from other financing institutions that have come to help the Philippines. So their support will be repaid with work that does not scrimp on the budget, nor cut corners on workmanship, nor block feedback, nor disregard deadlines. My instructions concerning projects across the board all over the country are very clear. Deliver on time, on spec, and on budget. There is another instruction to all agencies that I would need to have fully complied with, of which the recent flooding in Mindanao has emphatically shown. The infrastructure we are building must not only wipe out the arrears of the past, but must respond to the needs of the present and anticipate circumstances in the future. We must build while bearing in mind the worst the future will bring, of the earth getting hotter, getting wetter, and not on outdated assumptions that no longer apply. We cannot build climate-resistant infrastructure for our children based on the rainfall and temperature records during our parents' time. The same sensitivity to emerging trends and best practices should define our pivot to commuter and commuter-friendly transit systems. And that is why I'm ordering the Secretary of Transportation, the Secretary of Finance to work in tandem to explore financing sources for the 103-kilometer Tagum-Davao-Digos Railway. Thus far, this ambitious project has been stalled by lack of funding. So let us go and hunt for the right funding engine that will pull this project to the finish line. I have been briefed that financing railway models can be creatively packaged in a hybrid way, with each component of the project underwritten by different stakeholders. Civil works, for instance, can be tendered to private investors. Rolling stock can be shouldered by official development assistance or vice versa. There are some examples of ways we can explore different modes of financing to accelerate delivery. Of course, right-of-way is a deliverable entrusted to the government. I have mentioned these to illustrate one cardinal rule in transportation management of always being in the driver's seat of innovation. So when it comes to mobility, not all kinds of modernization requires high-tech and deep pockets, such as walkable pedestrian lanes, to give us an example. In the meantime, let us move at full speed in modernizing our airports, railways, seaports, roads, transportation hubs, and active mobility structures. This is the mission that DOTr has ahead of it. This is our ticket to a brighter future. This is an opportunity we should not miss on our way to a bagong Pilipinas. Congratulations once again to the DOTr on their anniversary. Maayong hapon sa inyong kaninyong tanan. And thank you very much and good afternoon to you all.
Thank you, Mr. President. At this point, may we request the President to kindly grant us a photo opportunity. First, may we call on stage the DOTr officials. Next, Davao City LGU, please stand by and prepare. Thank you. Please exit to your left. Davao City LGU, you may now proceed on stage. Next, DPTMP officials, please stand by and prepare. Thank you, Davao City LGU. You may now exit to your right. You may now proceed, DPTMP officials. Next, ADB and DOTr Technical Working Group, please stand by and prepare. Thank you. You may now exit to your right. ADB and DOTr TWG, you may now proceed on stage. Thank you. Please exit on your left. May we please request the President to grant us a groovy. And may we request the President to please go downstage. Thank you, Mr. President, for granting us a photo opportunity. That concludes our program. Thank you, Mr. President, for gracing our event today. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, His Excellency Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. We would like to request everyone to please remain on your respective places until the President has left the venue. Thank you.